Racing to the Breeders' Cup, just 8 days away from the World Thoroughbred Championships. Here's your Breeders' Cup update for Thursday, October 24th. And yesterday, on Wednesday, the Breeders' Cup pre-entry nominations were announced, and 188 horses were nominated to this year's Breeders' Cup. Got quite a few horses cross-entered, and it looks like the turf races are going to be full, but some potentially small dirt fields as we take a look at these World Thoroughbred Championships. Remember, hit subscribe and ring that bell for notifications as we race you up to the Breeders' Cup with daily updates and previews of all 14 race videos. Hit that subscribe button. Let's start with some of the announcements yesterday. It looks like we're going to have 11 horses in the $6 million Breeders' Cup Classic, headlined by probable favorite McKenzie. But I think that's going to be close in the wagering odds, as some of the early offshore betting and European markets have announced McKenzie as a slight favorite over Code of Honor and Vino Rosso. Those three, probably the three most likely choices. They'll get a look at some of the other Win and You're In winners, including Mongolian Groom, Seeking the Soul, and Higher Power, who won the Breeders' Cup Pacific Classic. Meanwhile, Elate, she is going to take on the boys in the Classic division. Elate, 3 for 3 at the 1.25 mile division. Meanwhile, in the sprint, Matoli, that's where he's going to run the $2 million, one of the original big 7 races on Breeders' Cup Day. That makes logical sense to me. And then Omaha Beach is going to go to the dirt mile. Also announced yesterday, it looks like a few of the horses that opted to stay out of the juvenile, and their first preference from the European contingent is for the dirt and turf, and we'll see if that sticks out as we hold that way. The Hog Creek Hustle, and looks like Whitmore, they want a piece of Matoli in that Breeders' Cup Sprint. Today we're going to take a deeper look at the Juvenile and the Juvenile Fillies, and the Juvenile race is looking like it could be a 7 or 8 horse field. And the 3 big favorites in there, the market's starting to move a little bit yesterday over in Europe. It looks like Dennis Moment now going to be taking that role of favorite position, as he is a co-favorite now with 8 rings in a couple of books. And in a couple of other books, it looks like actually Dennis's Moment is going to be the favorite. 8 rings, probably the co-favorite or second choice. Of course, 8 rings winning the American Pharoah. His final workout on Monday, 6 furlongs in 1:14 and change. Meanwhile, a horse we haven't talked too much about, Maxfield. Going to want to take a long look at this horse. His Keeneland effort was a strong effort, and that was really a strangely run race. A couple of horses went at it early, set some fast fractions, and then going into the turn, 3 or 4 horses started doing the moonwalk, and Maxfield made this wide move to emerge with a big victory in there. That was followed up by an impressive debut victory at Churchill Downs underneath the Twin Spires. This Godolphin homebred by Street Sense out of a Bernardini mare. Looks like he's the real goods here, but he does have to ship across country, and it'll be his first effort out west. And it'll be interesting to see how some of the horses handle the ship and how they handle the Santa Anita surface. I do think we're going to have a few no-shows in this Breeders' Cup. Still going to be trying to determine those out of the next 7 or 8 days, but I think that's the key to your handicapping. There's going to be 2 or 3 horses that completely misfire on this surface after the ship, and so that is going to be the key to some of your handicapping. Meanwhile, Scabbard, the horse formerly known as Noose, of course, he had the runner-up effort in the Saratoga Special and then runner-up to Dennis's Moment in the Breeders' Futurity. He's currently listed at 9-1 and 10-1 in the morning line from the European betting. And then another horse, Shoplifted, he shifted out from the Hopeful Stakes, ran in the American Pharoah Stakes, never really made a move that day though. But I think Shoplifted, I really like the way he's been working out lately. I think you have to look for him to improve, and he is by Into Mischief. And those horses win early, and they kind of can fire some big efforts. So I just have a feeling Shoplifted is being pointed for a big effort here. I think the American Pharoah might have just been a race around the track to kind of get used to the surface, and I could see him moving up 5 or 6 speed points. American Theorem had to chase 8 rings all the way around the last time. I expect a bigger effort from him in this race, and we'll also see what the horse Wrecking Crew, who picked up a nice win in the Best Pal Stakes and then kind of ran second in the Del Mar Futurity. Kind of more of, again, another win early pedigree. So that's a look at your juvenile contenders as you start to handicap those. The Juvenile Fillies, of course, the big three. You've got Wicked Whisper, who won her debut and one of the most impressive filly maiden winners of the year, and then followed that up with an impressive Frisette score, winning in hand and in command. Bast, your most likely favorite. She's taking a lot of the money, but boy, oh boy, the European markets are really honing in on Donna Veloce. She is down to 3-1 in some of the early markets, and Donna Veloce, the daughter of Uncle Mo, won by 8 lengths. Picked up a 91 Beyer speed figure, an impressive Brisnet winning debut race, and she is getting a lot of play. So the Uncle Mo fillies, Bast and Donna Veloce, are the top 2 favorites in the European markets. British Idiom, and then, that big victory in the El Alcibiades Stakes, the daughter of Flashback. We'll see what she goes off at, but right now early odds are looking at about 5 or 6-1. And then you've got Perfect Alibi, who also ran in the Alcibiades, and Wicked Whisper at about 5-1 to 6-1 in the early markets. 260, yes, she was purchased for $260,000, so that's what they named her. Big effort at Gulfstream. She's got to ship all the way out west and take on the new surface, but I do think she improved a lot in that last race. Comical, meanwhile, she gave Bast all she could handle in the Chandelier Stakes, continues to train forwardly, and we'll see what her final workout looks like as well. Another horse we haven't talked about is KP Dreamin'. She was third behind Bast and Comical, but I thought that this daughter of Union Rag, she's one that's going to really improve, I think, with some time and distance, and I think she finally gets a little bit of speed in here to help stretch up her stretch run, because I do think she is a true closer. So KP Dreamin' is one I'm going to take a long look at, and you may want to watch the replays on this horse and study that pedigree a little bit as well. Some great juvenile and juvenile filly races coming up. Of course, Future Star Fridays on the Friday, and then the main course on the Saturday. Breeders' Cup Saturday. Who do you like in the juvenile? Who do you like in the juvenile fillies? Do you think KP Dreamin' can improve? And what are your odds on Donna Veloce? Leave a comment below. Hit the like button so we get more views of the video. If you do hit that like button, it does show it up in the algorithms a little bit more. And we're the fastest growing daily horse racing show leading you up to the Breeders' Cup. So hit subscribe and ring that bell for notifications as we lead you up to the World Thoroughbred Handicapping Championship.